Hey guys, how is everybody? Hi Marie, how are you? I'm waiting for Erica's wife LaShonda to join us, and then we'll get started and let other people join too and just say hi to everybody. So, how is everybody tonight? I hope you guys had a good week and everything has been going well for everybody. I know we're in the thick of Mercury retrograde now. We're not in the thick of it, but it's officially here. So, if God forbid we have any issues, we will blame it on that. But hopefully everybody can hear okay and everything goes off without a hitch tonight. So we are here to celebrate the life of my friend Erica. Let me see. We have a guest. Let me see who has joined us. Oh, LaShonda is here. I'm going to add her.
Hi, Bella.
Hey, hun. Do we have an echo? Okay.
I turned it down.
Okay.
Still hear it?
Awesome. So for everybody who's joining us again, this is our friend LaShonda, and she is the wife of Erica, whose life we are celebrating tonight. And I know a lot of you guys are familiar with Erica because she used to go live with me over here a few times, and then on Station Head she used to join us when I was on that app every Saturday. So I know that there's a lot of people that know her from there that said that they're going to show up later on. Hey, Jasmine. Hey, Teddy. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Donna.
Hey.
Hi, Lindsay. So, how have you been, Shonda? How are you doing?
I'm trying to keep my head up as best as I can, Bella. It happened unexpectedly. Um, I'm still in shock. But I'm just trying to take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
Best as I can. But it's hard. It's hard. That's been my wife for 15 plus years. Um, and she had so many dreams and stuff that she wanted to do that she didn't get the chance to do. And I think that's what's hurting me the most right now out of this.
Well, we all really love you, Shonda, and I can attest that Erica, really, 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 really loved you. She always called you her soulmate. She told me, Bella, you need to get yourself a Shonda, because she was talking about how supportive you were of all of her dreams and everything that she was trying to accomplish.
I was, and I don't know if she told you. She actually was got her certificate in being a certified life coach.
Yeah.
She didn't get to make it to her graduation, but she did get to receive her certificate for that. So she had too much going on.
I know. Every time I ever talked to Erica, she was like, okay, I want to start a homeless shelter. I want to save all the foster kids. Like, she was always, like, nothing that Erica ever, to me at least, expressed that she was trying to accomplish was ever for, like, just like, oh, I want to get rich.
Mm-hmm.
It was always like, if I start this business, then I can fund this charitable thing that I want to do to help other people with the proceeds from it.
Mm-hmm. And her biggest thing was she wanted to take care of the mothers with children. Because of Erica's past experience that she been through with her kids. So that was her biggest thing, was to open a homeless shelter and a food pantry. It was a lot of stuff she had planned. And I wish she was able to do it. I wish she was.
But you know what? I really feel like I mean, Erica definitely, that was the biggest thing that we bonded over, was us always trying to find ways to like use our spiritual gifts to help other people and bring awareness, you know, to the healing aspects of spirituality, as well as just, you know, removing like mental health and addiction stigmas, or the stigma around like single mothers and things like that. But I think that she's inspired a lot of us to pick up the torch and carry it for her going forwards. And I think a lot of people that really got to know her in her heart, you know, as more time passes, will find ways to do that.
Right. I totally agree with you.
Because Erica left her mark on a lot of people, and anybody that was lucky enough to experience her, just in general, but especially if you were blessed to be able to call her your friends, you can never forget somebody like her, what she brought to your life, or, you know, not be inspired or motivated by her.
You're right. You're right, Bella. You're right.
And I loved that she called herself Mama E, because it's like, she was like, to me, like such a personification of like a true earth mama. Because everybody always thinks of like real spiritual people being like Gandhi, like perfect people, but all the like really spiritual people I know went through some shit, did not come from the best circumstances. He had to like pull themselves up by the bootstraps and make everything happen. And it really is true, because it's like we have to go through the fire and heal ourselves so that we can show other people how to do that.
Right.
But, you know, it's just like the way that she overcame everything and used it as her testimony and her way of connecting and helping others and showing them you can get through it too. And just the way that she loved on and mothered everybody, it was like that is like real like earth mama Gaia goddess energy to me, personified.
Yeah. Yes,
Erica was so amazing and cool, you guys, and she was a class mama, and her kids are all like just incredible people too. And it's such a testament to her being their mom.
She will be missed, boy. Oh man.
I know. I just keep feeling like it's not real too. And then when you reposted my story from her page, I just like broke down and cried, because for a second I was like, oh my God, it was a bad dream, because I got the message like Mama E tagged you, you know, on Instagram. And then I just had to remember, like, no, you tagged me because we're, you know, planning this. So
yeah. I'm sorry. I think I did that to a lot of people, and I want to apologize. But most of Erica's friends and stuff were located on social media. That was her thing. So sadly, I had to hit up everybody through her page, to let them know what happened.
Yeah. No, I know it was. I think it's just that everybody, you know, we all kind of feel like this is a nightmare that we wish that we could wake up from. But Erica was such an amazing person that we want, you know, and this is the thing too, like when I was getting on here, like I was like, okay, try not to cry. And
I know, I got my tissue just in case.
I kept hearing like in my head, like, I don't want y'all sitting around on live crying and boo-hooing about me. Like,
no.
I want you to be celebrating me. And I will say, you know, maybe this doesn't, I don't want to like make anybody think I'm being flippant about anything, but I called Carlene to let her know what happened. And she, you know, we were talking and she goes, I feel like Erica's like really happy though, like on the other side. And I said, yeah, that bitch gets to hang out with Michael Jackson. Of course she's happy. Because I was like, you know, that's what she's doing right now.
Yeah, and that's all Erica talked about
him
was
a hard time.
yeah, that's all she talked about was becoming an ancestor and going up there and being with Michael Jackson and Easy E and having all these parties, you know. So Erica having a good time. She
No,
having a good
Erica's the
time.
only person I've ever met that loved Michael Jackson more than me.
Man, I used to say she used to love Michael Jackson dirty draws, but I used to get slapped for that. So we're not even gonna bring that up. She might get me. She might get me. But she loved her some Michael boy. And I know that's the first person she done saw when she went up there.
I know. That's why I was like, I could even imagine Erica running past her family and her own ancestors to go find Michael. Just like, I got all of eternity to catch up with you guys. I got some questions for Michael.
Right. We done had our time. Now she out there exploring other things. So I can't be selfish. You know, I miss her, but I can't be selfish, you know. And I know she's here with us. I know she is.
She is. She definitely is. I know. I was like, anybody that loves Michael Jackson, like, we're just nuts about him.
Right. Let me
But
not
that's
say
why,
nothing bad about Michael on here. Y'all might all get me. Okay, I'm just playing y'all.
but see, this is why you cannot ever say that, like, somebody like Taylor Swift has the same legacy or level of fame or whatever as Michael Jackson, because I've seen people trying to compare them, and I'm like, no. 20, 30 years from now, nobody else is going to be sitting around talking about their friend that passed away and saying, oh, they ran past their ancestors to meet Taylor Swift. It will not be that important to the culture 20, 30 years after her passing. The way that Michael Jackson still is.
No.
People do not pass out just because they're in the same stadium arena as Taylor Swift. She doesn't have to have like militaries of whole entire countries escort her around. So
right. Oh man. Hello guys. Welcome in.
Hey to everybody that joined us. So now that we've got, you know, a good amount of people here and LaShonda is here, I'm going to have LaShonda drop her information in the chat and then I will pin it. We are going to be taking your guys' psychic celebrity questions. Now, before anybody starts, let me tell you how it's going to go so that it's not a madhouse. You can purchase one with a super sticker or a super chat. They are $5 each. I highly suggest, if you are in the same country and able to do so, that you send it as a direct donation to LaShonda. She's going to put her information where you can send the donations to her. If you send it directly to her, please put in the notes your YouTube username so we can make sure that nobody's trying to lie and say they sent something and they didn't, and then somebody doesn't get something answered, just to try to keep things straight.
Right.
You know, obviously YouTube takes a percentage of things. I'm not sure exactly how much it is. I think it's like 30 or maybe 40%. It's kind of a lot. So it is always, I always try to directly donate to people. But you can, I will answer psychic celebrity questions. Now, the rules about what you can ask: no mediumship right now. Don't ask about any, like if somebody committed a crime. Nothing health or pregnancy related. And don't ask about Illuminati or satanic stuff.
Please don't.
We have to be, a lot of that is just because we have to be really careful because YouTube censors
what we
us.
say. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, anything that falls under health stuff will immediately get the whole entire life taken down. So I don't want to risk any of that. So, and then put question in front of your question. Obviously, if you're sending it, you know, asking a question after you put a direct donation. And if you do a super sticker or a super chat, try to attach your question to that. And we will read on those, and all of the proceeds are going to go to being to cover the unexpected, obvious, you know, costs that come with somebody unexpectedly passing away.
And I appreciate everything, guys. I appreciate it so much.
Of course. I mean, and it, for those who don't know, like, this is the really unfortunate thing is LaShonda had just started a new job. Only, what was it, like 3 days? When that
3 days, and then Erica unexpectedly passed away. She was the sole provider for a couple of months. And since she's passed away, I've been facing an eviction, bills, the cost of the funeral, everything, and it's all put on me, basically. And it's a lot. It's a lot.
And you guys can also purchase a reading on the website, psychicbellelove.com. Use code Erica at checkout. It will take 50% off any appointment. And I'm donating half of the proceeds from all of those to Shonda as well. So, that's the worst part about, I always just think about all the propaganda. It was like, and since we're like in the same age group, I'm sure you remember it too. Like when we were growing up, everything on TV was, I'm proud to be an American. And like, they would act like, oh my, like, and people would constantly, whether it was your teachers or the adults around you, like you would get told stuff like, thank God you're an American, you're not starving in India or getting your hands chopped off in Arabia, or like all these things that are really racist when you think about it too, that like people would constantly say. And it's like, and then, we kind of grew up and we're like, the American dream is bullshit and it doesn't even exist.
Right. Right.
And the worst part about all of it is that it's like, we're supposed to be supposedly the best country in the entire world, and all this stuff, and you have all these opportunities and freedoms, but it's like all it takes is one person to get sick and then you're bankrupt.
That's all it takes.
Costs, medical costs, things like ambulances are so incredibly out of control. So I'm gonna put your message as the pinned message, Lindsay, because it has Shonda's info in it and then the rules. So,
Okay.
Yeah, it's just really crazy. Hey, Ahira, how are you, babe? Yeah, it's crazy too, because it's like when you think about it, like our counterparts, like who we're like basically compared to on like a first world level would be like Canada and the UK. They have health care for everybody, and we never have. So it's just insane, but people can be so horrible and desensitized. It's scary. Yeah, that's really scary. So
take your health very seriously, and Erica had she's been through a lot of stuff as far as her health, but sadly this was due to asthma, which I didn't know really asthma can kill you, as long as you had your inhaler and your albuterol and stuff. And in the case, it was a fire going on in California, and Erica got up as usual, went to work. She did an 8-hour shift, and I was coming to pick her up from work, and we got home, and all of a sudden she started panicking, and she said she couldn't breathe. And then she said the inhaler wasn't working or nothing. Yeah. Nothing. Take your health serious. Make sure you get health insurance. Please.
yeah. Well, and on top of it, I mean, that's what is so crazy is like you said, I never knew that asthma was that bad either. And then my grandpa had a heart attack, and he's always been on the thin side, eats super healthy, like was a farmer. So he was outside, like active constantly his whole life, never smoked, never really drank or anything. Like he didn't do anything that you would think would be like the typical that's going to make you have a heart attack. But he had asthma and it was induced by allergies. And the doctor said that, like, over time, you know, just because every time that your airways close up and you have to struggle to breathe again, it narrows your arteries in your heart and puts so much pressure on the rest of your system. And the more that you have the really, really bad attacks over time, the more it can really get to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry though, and oh my God, she did, Stacey. Oh. My goodness. Well, oh, I'm so sorry, Hannah. I know, and Erica was so young too. How old was she exactly?
She was 54. Yeah, she was 54 years old. And it's crazy because she passed away August 31st. August 29th was my second oldest grandson's birthday, and we just celebrated his birthday. We had a nice little pool party. We had everybody over and everything, and that was her golden grandson. She loved her some King. She loved her some King, boy. And I'm she was able to celebrate his birthday um before she passed away, so I'm kind of happy for that.
Yeah, I know. I like
Yeah,
had
girl.
just talked to her a couple weeks before that, and she was just so excited about everything that she was planning on doing coming up. And she was telling me about the life coaching certificate and how she was looking forward to being able to like use that and help people with it. And it sucks too because it's like I had literally, I think it was only like the week before she passed, Carlene and I were talking about we need to do like a throwback show and get Erica and Desi together and come on and just, you know, have a little kiki with everybody.
Right.
And so it's like I was like literally that week gonna message Erica and Carlene and put us in a group chat to talk about everything. And then it was, unfortunately, I went to her page to go add her, and that was how I saw that she'd passed. And then right at the same time that I was on Erica's page being like, did she pass away? Stacy messaged me and said, Erica passed. And I was like, I just like couldn't even like think like this isn't real. This isn't real. It was just like the strangest thing. Hi, Isaac. I'm so happy that you were able to make it. I haven't been able to get you on a live in so long. Yes, rise and love, Erica. She's definitely missed.
Yes, in her post.
Yes. Oh, Mimi. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mimi.
And you guys, I don't know if you saw in the community tab the pictures of Jocelyn Wildstein, Cardi B from Vogue Mexico that I posted. I was just sitting there thinking too when I was posting that, I could hear Erica just dying laughing. Just like, what in the hell is this?
I think she would be dying laughing at Donald Trump's mugshot photo.
That too. He looks like an angry bird.
Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Mimi.
All right, let's see. We've got our first question. Are J. Cole and Bia having something more than a working relationship? Listen, that was something that I was like thinking about anyways. So good thing that you asked that. Let's see. Please tell me what is going on between
Leave a little piece of Michael for me, baby.
J. Cole.
He ain't leaving you nothing. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know that now.
Thank you, Sana.
Thank
Oh
you,
my God.
Sana. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Sana's our soul child from the UK.
Okay.
She is originally from Africa, but is currently in the UK. So she's our worldly girl that gets to keep us up with everything that's going on that side of the pond.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We'll let you know what's going on this side.
Yep. Oh, well, that's why you guys can just send it directly to her as a Cash App too. Just make sure if you do, you put your YouTube username in the notes so we know who it came from, so we can answer your questions, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna be real disappointed. I'm not even gonna lie if this says that like they are messing around, because J. Cole has been my man, and I already had to face Miguel hanging him from freaking hooks from the damn ceiling earlier today. Because their song together is like one of my favorite songs ever, the Power Trip song.
Mm-hmm.
And I love me some J. Cole, and I will be really mad at him if it turns out that he's hooking up with Bia, and I'll be real mad at Bia too.
Right.
So, but I never put nothing past any of these celebrities. They be doing some damn dirt also.
Mm-hmm. They sneaky too.
So let's see. Isn't J. Cole rumored to be Chinese Kitty's baby daddy too or something? But then I forget, people said who it really is. Okay, let's see. There's a lot of like mutual affection and flirting that happens between the two of them. But Spirit's saying nothing has happened yet. Like, they haven't acted on it. They're kind of in the Jim and Pam from The Office stage right now, where it's like you can tell, like, okay, something's gonna happen between these two, but it hasn't happened yet. It's just gonna take somebody being drunk enough and nobody being around one night, and it's gonna pop off. So I would call it more of like maybe like an emotional affair right now that hasn't turned physical, but I do feel like there is a huge chance that could happen. He does cheat. I mean, he's coming up as the King of Wands. That he definitely, doesn't keep it in his pants and doesn't feel like he has to. He's just smart about it. It's like LeBron James. LeBron James cheats on his wife too. It's just that he's smart enough about making sure that he picks people who also have something to lose and everything to gain by keeping their mouth shut. And then like NDAs, confidentiality agreements, payments, things like that. Obviously, J. Cole wouldn't really have to do that with Bia, because it would look horrible for Bia to be out in these streets running around and saying, guess what, guys? I'm fucking J. Cole and he's married. Like, people would cancel her so fast, and that would be the end of her career. So it's like, he tries to pick people. What Spirit's saying is people like that. You're not going to tell, because if you do and you're the woman, you're going to end up looking worse than me.
Right.
Because the women always get it way worse than the guys, right? Because people are always like, well, guys will do that. What do you expect? They're rich. Rich men, stray all the time. It's what you put up with to be with one. But a woman, oh my God, she's a home-wrecking whore, and like she'll never recover from this. And so these guys definitely know like who they're dealing with and picking and being very careful about it. So Something's gonna happen. Something will happen. It just has not yet. And you guys, if you're not on Patreon, I've talked about this before because I watch Juicy Scoop with Heather McDonald sometimes. She said that there has always been like a rumor in Hollywood that there's certain men like Leonardo DiCaprio and George Clooney, and I guess Justin Bieber is like the other one or the newest one that's rumored to do this, that they allegedly freeze their sperm and then get vasectomies. So that way they can go and be the dirtiest of dogs that they want and nobody can come back and try to pin a baby on them. And then if they do ever decide at 50 years old, hey, guess what? I want to finally settle down and have kids. They have 28-year-old sperm rather than 50-year-old sperm to make that child with. So, which, hey, you know what? That's freaking smart because, listen, people like Future and Nick Cannon probably should have thought about that.
Right.
Although Nick Cannon's purposely doing it. But, you know, like, when it's people like Future who want to go, or Tristan Thompson, and they want to go fight in court and claim it's not their kid and not have anything to do with it or pay child support or whatever, like, learn from the actor side of things because they seem to, like, know what's up or something. So, it is smart. It's a really smart when you think about it. Because that's the thing, too. If somebody did come back and try to say, I'm pregnant with your kid, you already know you're a dirty bitch and I need to cut all communication with you because there's no way it's mine. Like, that cuts out a heck of a lot of problems. And again, you also have young, healthy sperms should you want to have, you know, kids later on and you don't have to worry about like, oh, like maybe I'm shooting blanks or that stuff. So, okay, let's see. Rana and Donna, did you guys have a question since you made a donation?
Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Hannah.
Yes, and then Jasmine said, Shonda, did you get the cash?
Yes, yes, I got you, Jasmine.
Okay, Jasmine, if you want to drop a question too, I will get to yours next. Let's see. Hannah said our mucus, that's Meg the Stallion.
Oh, okay.
Carlos,
Wait, what?
I was like, I have to say the real names because Shonda doesn't know who we're talking about.
I am lost, guys.
If they have a single coming together. Okay, first of all, I saw that on Mom's World and I was cracking up because if you go back like 3 posts above that, it's a whole quote from Carlos from the Mexico Vogue cover where she says, I'm not doing any more features or collaborations. The next one is going to be the lead single from the album that's never coming out. And so then it's all of a sudden, like 2 hours later, it's like, oh, Meg the Stallion and Cardi B are putting out a song together. I'm like, this girl just lies constantly. Because she's been saying for freaking 6 years now that the second album was coming. So I'm like, I don't believe anything that she ever said. The spirit. Megan Thee Stallion gonna put out a song together. Thank you. Channeling Nicki all up in the cover. No, she was channeling that lady Jocelyn Wildstein, who's known as the human cat lady, because she got all that surgery to look like a panther or whatever the hell it was.
Right.
Did you guys know that Jocelyn Wildstein lady, that like her looking like that was purposeful? Because her first husband like was attracted to cats, and so she literally was getting surgery to look more like a cat for him.
Why is Beyonce gotta be robot? Oh, guys, I can't do this. Jay-Z is a camel? Oh, Lord. Okay.
Oh, they've been calling Jay-Z Camel like since I was in high school.
Oh, Erica gonna get y'all.
Erica's
She gonna get y'all.
No, Erica would have told you exactly what day and year people started calling him Camel and why. The whole history of
Yes,
it.
The whole
Somehow would tie into
history.
the story about the Black Panthers and Michael Jackson. That's what would happen.
Hello,
And then she would tell
Renee.
you exactly when and how Jay-Z and Beyonce got together, how long it took for the public to find out. Like, Erica was like a walking history book.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Encyclopedia. She knew it all, baby.
I know. No, and if you ever wanted to know anything about the Black Panthers or like the civil rights movement or any of the stuff that came afterwards, Erica was the person to go to and ask. Because she knew all of it. She knew so much about like Tupac's family and stuff too.
I want to say music was her biggest thing. I know everything. Especially about the Jackson 5 and how they started off.
Oh yes. No, Erica could tell you Michael Jackson's cousins' names and everything. I was like, I thought I was like a Michael Jackson fan, but like she made me feel like I didn't know shit. So okay, let's see.
Ooh,
They're definitely gonna put out a song together because Spirit saying from like both of their teams' perspective, really, when you think about it, the last time that either one of them had a real big hit was together. Mm-hmm. But separately, since then, you know, it's like, yeah, Carlos had Up and it kind of did okay, but it was nowhere near the success of WAP. And then for Megan, like she had some kind of like middle of the road, you know, songs that kind of hit the middle of Billboard, but didn't really like hit top 10 and all of that. And so Spirit saying, since obviously both of them are in a precarious places in their careers right now, as far as public perception, as far as, you know, not being as popular as they used to be. It's like, well, both of them need a boost, and this is what'll get the people talking, you know, in my Will Ferrell on a Jay-Z and Kanye track voice. It's provocative. It'll get the people talking. Provocative. So,
thank you, Lindia Drains. Thank you.
So because of that, you know, there's definitely this motivation to see, like, is this going to help move the needle for both of them as far as their careers getting back on track again? Now, this is not going to work out exactly the way that they think it is. I see people being excited about it, and of course I see people going to listen to it immediately, but I also feel like it's a huge letdown because it's nowhere near as like catchy or as good as WAP. I feel like, of course, people, you know, they always want to drag a Cardi B verse anyways. Right. But if you guys haven't noticed, like the same, like people have been very much saying the same thing, you know, that it's like, oh, Megan has the same flow, or she keeps talking about the same things. I feel people saying a lot of that. A lot of like, oh, like I thought it was gonna be better, but Megan just sounds the same, and this really does just sound like they're just like making WAP Part 2, except it sucks. But they're gonna try to push it. And again, guys, Cardi can scream until the cows come home that she's working on her album, or she's almost done with it, or she's going to put it out soon, or whatever. I've been told you guys a million times, Atlantic is only letting her release singles or be on other people's songs because they're waiting to see, are people going to support her enough and be excited enough to support a whole entire album because they lost a lot of money on her and they've lost a lot of money just as a label in general. And they're not paying out the way that they used to. They're not going to go and pay for her to get 1 billion fucking streams and another Grammy award and all this stuff that they paid for in the past when they never saw the return on the investment in it in the first place. And again, too, this girl will do anything and everything that she can to never go on a tour unless it's like a co-headline tour with somebody that, really is going to make some numbers because bots don't fill concert seats.
Mm.
And she couldn't. She couldn't, pull that off at Summer Jam. And that was like a smaller venue when you think about it than like a lot of people would choose to have as a tour venue. So if she couldn't fill them seats at Summer Jam and they had all those other people on the ticket, do you really think that she's going to be able to like actually sell a real tour? So $4.99 is fine, guys. We're not going to be picky over a penny. It's that you guys are helping out and that's what matters. So, all right, let's see. Mimi, you can put your question down if you missed putting it in on the chat. What is the story between Rihanna and LeBron James? She used to be obsessed with him, and how did his wife feel? Oh, that's a good one. Because she used to be posting some pictures of herself, posed very provocatively in bikinis with his number written on her stomach and sunscreen, and like be showing up at the games stoned out of her mind with her finger hanging out of her mouth, just staring at him while he was playing. Like, she looked like she wanted to eat that man alive.
Ooh, you guys know all the tea. Okay.
I just remember that because people were so mad at her for that. And I remember because people at the same time, because that's when everybody was saying like, oh, Rihanna's a hoe and look what she's doing. And like, that was, she would constantly get dragged for like dating people. And I remember like a lot of people fighting back and saying, Rihanna's had like 1 confirmed boyfriend all year and Taylor Swift has had 4. So like, get off her ass. So let's see. Please tell me what happened between Rihanna and LeBron James. Thank you. I was thinking if she had the chance, she would have married him at the time. Oh my goodness. We all know that that's part of the reason, allegedly, why LeBron got out of Miami, because there was too much temptation and fun out there for him to be having, and people were speculating that he was going to end up divorced because of it. So they transferred. Didn't he go to Ohio after that or something? I don't remember because I never really have been like a baseball fan, but I just remember people talking about it. Yeah, I mean, most of the stuff that, like, a lot of what people were, like, talking about Rihanna in relation to other people was speculation. Like, oh, we thought she dated Ashton Kutcher because people said she was at his house one night. And Matt Barnes and people like that, but, like, she never claimed them or was even walking around holding their hand publicly or whatever. And we all know that, Drake and Travis Scott was just her having fun with them. So. He went back home, I think. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, especially if you remember, because that was during the height of Taylor's making songs about her ex-boyfriends. Not that she ever stopped, but she was like going like a maniac at that time. So I totally understood where people were coming from, where it was like, okay, this is fucked up because like literally like you're always picking on Rihanna, but there's other people out here who run through men far more than her and nobody calls them out on it. And then look what happened too. The one time, because it was what, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, I think, that like did make fun of Taylor Swift at some award show for that, and then like they victimized Taylor out of it. And Katie Couric was standing up for her, and everybody was like, she is a young girl and she is trying to figure her life out. And how dare you? And you're shaming her. And I was like, well, nobody's saying this about Rihanna. And when you look it up, her and Rihanna are only a couple years apart.
Right.
So why wasn't Rihanna getting the she's a poor young girl treatment? So just, that's what just annoys me, because like the industry always wants to coddle Taylor Swift and victimize her and make her out to be the industry victim. And I'm just like, if she's always a victim, then maybe she doesn't need to be in the industry.
Mm-mm.
Maybe at some point she needs to go in the house and protect herself. Just saying. Because obviously there's all these wolves out to get her when you want to protect yourself. So, well, guys, they definitely did hook up, Rihanna and LeBron James. And they were hooking up during that entire time. Spirit is saying that she definitely wanted him to leave his wife.
Mm.
And I feel like he was dragging his feet and telling her he was going to. And when she wasn't seeing any movement, it was like, well, then I'm going to start being really fucking obvious. Because at some point, somebody's going to get in a fight, and then that becomes your opening to say, yeah, I don't want to be married to you anymore. Like, that was her thought process. And she definitely saw herself being with him. She thought they were going to be the ultimate power couple. Which they would have been when you think about it, because Rihanna's such a superstar in the music industry and he's such a superstar in basketball that if he had, say, left Savannah and they waited an appropriate amount of time and then he popped out with Rihanna, then, you know, guess what? Like, they would have definitely been. I mean, they probably would have been the next Will and Jada, like, on that level, or, you know, Beyonce and Jay-Z, where it's like people really see them as a power couple and a brand and not just a relationship. And that's what she thought that they were going to have there, because, you know, if you look at this card, it is very telling. It's like, yeah, it looks like a family, but it's the 10 of Pentacles card. So it's also about finding a way to benefit from the perceived family or the family unit or the relationship. She didn't get what she wanted out of this, because obviously he didn't end up leaving his wife. There's also whoever she dated, or, you know, even again, because this was during the time period of Rihanna just being attached to people, but us never really seeing her confirm it. I feel like it may have been Matt Barnes or Drake or somebody else, you know, around that time that we did hear about her, like, supposedly dating. That was really her purposely doing that to get under LeBron's skin. Okay, you don't want to leave your wife, and fine, I'm not going to be with you anymore. I'm going to go date that guy now, watch. But they still kept going back and forth, Spirit saying, for years with each other. She just stopped making it obvious, because at some point, it's like she got disgusted with herself that she still continued to mess with him. The Spirit saying it was a huge ego blow for her, when she had to really realize and look at the situation and be like, I am not going to get what I want out of this situation. It really did piss her off, because she thought, I'm Rihanna, every guy wants me. Why wouldn't you want me? See, this is why you can't believe your own hype and you can't think that your own shit don't stink. And then just because the rest of the world is hyping you up and saying you're a baddie, there's always going to be somebody that ain't going to give you everything you want. So, this is interesting. And, ooh, Savannah was mad. Savannah figured out very quickly that this is what was going on. And you guys, just like a lot of basketball wives or, you know, just rich guy wives in general, to her, it's like, don't be obvious about it. Don't treat me differently. Don't disrespect me or embarrass me in public, and I'll look the other way and pretend like it's not happening. So she was pissed about Rihanna making a spectacle of things. And it was more like, if you're going to keep dealing with her, you need to get her in check. That's not what we agreed about, you know, and I know. I would have too. Girl, I would have stomped in there and dragged somebody by their damn hair if they were being that obvious trying to flirt with my man, but I also wouldn't be in a don't ask, don't tell, don't embarrass me situation either. So, you know what the thing is that Spirit saying as much as LeBron liked Rihanna, he was never going to end up in a relationship with her. Like, she scares him in a way because it's like, she's into really wild shit that, like, I can't be seen doing because that, like, affects my brand. And he's very concerned about his brand, his image, trying to go down as a legend in the industry, trying to, you know, achieve certain things. Like, you know, if Michael Jordan made so many baskets in a year, I needed to top that. If Scottie Pippen got so many 3-pointers, I need to top that. If this person's team won so many championships, I have to top that. And he does a lot of endorsements overseas, and so he needs to keep that family man image to keep that kind of money rolling in. Because think about it too, guys, with a lot of athletes, whether it's a Michael Jordan or a Charles Barkley or, you know, some of the younger people these days, again, I don't really know any athletes, so that's why I was like, can't even think of anybody's name to say. Not only are they worried about the job that they have right now and obviously trying to make sure that you stay signed to the team, try to make sure you do a good enough job so you don't get benched and so that you get raises and better contracts and get to play for the right teams and get the Sprite endorsements. They always are also looking to the future. What am I going to do after I retire? And they have to be really realistic too, because at any given moment, you could have a career-ending injury and you're going to have to find a way to still make money, you know? So a lot of these guys, they are really concerned about that image, the smart ones at least, because they know, all right, well, if tomorrow I get a concussion and the doctors never release me to play again, at least I can go and be a sports commentator or come up with my own version of George Foreman grills to sell or whatever, and you have to have the image that's right for that. So she also dated Rob Kardashian. Who dated Rob Kardashian? But it's just like Spirit saying it's like LeBron thought that she was just the hot fun mistress, but he knew there's no way that, like, I'm going to have a family with this person or marry them or spend the rest of my life with them. So to him, it was like, why am I going to break up something to go after something that I know isn't going to last? But he was telling her that he was going to do certain things because it kept her around. And the funny thing is, the Spirit saying he still kept Yes Jules and his other little side pieces around while he was dealing with Rihanna too. I don't think Rihanna exactly values monogamy when you think about it. Because all the people that she dates are like known cheaters. Or they cheat on her. It's weird. And she was willing to play, you know, that whole back and forth game with Chris Brown too. So you will send me a compilation of Rihanna shenanigans during that time. Oh my God, yes, you have to send me that. You can't smoke blunts with Riri to be injury free. Can you imagine LeBron's out there playing slow as fuck because she gave him an edible? I'm sorry, I was just like laughing because I was really imagining him running slow as hell across the freaking court, all messed up because the edible still didn't wear on. Okay, let's see. Is it Taylor Swift beefing with Olivia Rodrigo? Taylor has Olivia's rival Sabrina Carpenter opening for her tour. Okay. I'll tell you, I literally still don't really know who Sabrina Carpenter or Olivia Rodrigo are, but I did actually watch a video about this recently because it was about how Taylor Swift doesn't have any real friends in the industry. And they talked about the Olivia Rodrigo situation. I guess, do you guys remember how there was like some kind of bust up like with like her needing like Olivia Rodrigo having to go back and like credit Paramore on, I don't know if it was like the album or some song or whatever. I guess Taylor Swift did the same thing to her too. And then wanted to like threatens like some sort of legal action and like money and royalties and stuff. And so allegedly part of that new vampire song that just came out is they're supposed to be, yes, you know, for the most part the song is supposed to be about an ex-boyfriend, but they said that she snuck in some disses at Taylor if you listen close enough. So and then people were saying that they were at like some party or industry event together and didn't acknowledge each other the entire time. So we'll see. But that's allegedly like why they have a problem. So we'll see what the cards say. And Shonda, if you do need for any reason, go ahead, hun. Because I know she's been at work all day and she's obviously been dealing with a lot for the past couple weeks and still has a funeral to prepare for in a couple of days. So we completely understand if at any point you need to go.
Yeah. I do have to get up for work at 4 o'clock in the morning, guys. I'm going to stay for a little longer, though.
Of course.
Getting some good tea here.
And everybody's got lives and stuff they got to do, and I can't stay on all night either because my kids got stuff that I got to go take them to go do after this. We're at the mom is just a bus stage. Like, am I your chauffeur in your Uber? It's like, can you take me to this house? I need to go to the store and get this. Can this person come over? I feel like that's all I do all day right now. But I love it. Okay. Okay, so is definitely money and like the whole, because you know pentacles represent like the whole job situation anyways, but it's definitely at the root of this issue with them and the whole thing of being like, you know, why we're at odds with each other. They actually had it out and had words with each other too. Olivia Spirit saying very much feels like she was used by Taylor and that Taylor tried to cozy up to her and like pretend to be her friend and mentor and all of that in order for it to be more of like keep your friends close and your enemies closer type of a situation. And Olivia feels like, I really trusted you and you're a freaking bitch. And you were always just trying to screw me over the whole entire time and like keep tabs on me because you saw me as competition. You weren't really my friend. You didn't have good intentions with me. This is going to culminate in some kind of a tower card moment where they're going to start writing songs about each other and subbing each other. It's going to be like Bad Blood era part 2.0 between Olivia and Taylor. But remember, guys, Taylor is the mastermind of taking a situation that's already kind of, you know, not great and then capitalizing off of it. Because she did her whole, what was it? Is that the Reputation era? Like the snakes after Kanye and Kim called her a snake. She's done, obviously, the whole let me re-release every song I ever put out to get back at Scooter Braun era. She's always doing something like that. You know, Bad Blood was because her and Katy Perry thought. She capitalizes off of these things. So to Taylor, it's like, I don't give a fuck if you don't like me. This is amazing because now with all these people speculating about it, I know exactly what my next album is going to be about. So she's going to find a way to use it to her advantage. But guess what? You taught your frenemy or whatever how to do the same thing. So Olivia Rodrigo's going to be like, okay, bitch, is that the way you want to do it? Let's go. Because I can capitalize off of this and make money off of it too. So that'll be fun. If either one of you like, I mean, if you guys like either one of them and their music, you'll get something out of it. So Olivia better watch out. Honestly, I think that maybe Taylor needs to be a little bit careful about Olivia. There's something about, does Olivia write her own music, you guys? Spirit's saying something about people saying that Olivia is a better songwriter or has like better lyrics. And it's almost like Taylor can't compete in that sense. Although honestly, I've never found any of Taylor's music or lyricism to be groundbreaking and inspiring. I'm like, she's no Stevie Nicks to me, where I'm really sitting there and like, wow, can you believe what an amazing like piece of art this song is, you know, like Silver Springs or Landslide or any Fleetwood Mac song. Like, no. It's just like, okay, you're mad because some guy didn't give you what you wanted in a relationship. Big whoop. I mean, the way that Stevie Nicks wrote about her heartbreak with Lindsey Buckingham, that was something. Taylor's, John Mayer and me didn't work out is like, whatever, who cares? It's boring. Okay, so Olivia was a Disney girl. That's true. I didn't know that. What was she on Disney? I mean, I probably wouldn't even know it anyways because I don't watch Disney, neither does my kid, but there's so many like new famous people every day. It's so hard to keep up with all these people.
No, it is.
It's always like, oh, did you hear about Lil Beanbag? And it's like, who the fuck is that? And it's like, oh, and half the damn time they're a TikToker or some like real rapper. Or some former Disney kid, and I'm just like, what the hell? And then they all are like baby something or Lil something, and it's
right.
like, shouldn't the goal be to stand out if you're a musician? Like, my name would literally be like Rocket Rainbow Shooting Star, like, because nobody's gonna be fucking called that. So like, you guys are definitely remember who the hell I am. So let me see. Now she has her ashy baby, crusty baby daddy to tend to. Dude, why is it that there are certain people, like, like Meek Mills, how the hell are you in the pool and you're still ashy? No matter what Meek does, like, you could literally watch Meek get a whole entire bottle of baby oil poured over his head and he's still gonna look dry and crusty. And I think it's just because his soul is dry and crusty that you just see it come through. And now the way that he's complaining about the industry, I'm like, being Mike Rubin's little booty boy and being Rick Ross's little booty boy before that didn't work out. Meek, what happens? Because he was always bragging about being in all these rooms with billionaires. And I'm like, well, then how did you not learn anything about business from all these billionaires you were around? So, are you sure, Hannah, that Rihanna dated Rob Kardashian? I know he dated Rita Ora. Are you getting them confused? Because I just know that Rihanna hates the Kardashians so much that even if LeBron was one of their kids, I think she would have, like, passed on him. Which I still think that's funny because it's like her and Kanye have always been such good friends. And the way that everybody was constantly talking about how Beyonce looked like she didn't want to be anywhere near the Kardashians, I'm like, I want to go back and find, like, if there is any video clips or pictures of Rihanna having to interact with them and, like, if she seems like she couldn't handle it, because she hates Kendall and Kylie. I mean, she literally used to tell Kendall off and shit on Twitter. So, wait, Mika tried to hustle a shoe vendor? Meek's just dusty and crusty to his soul. Olivia first started on Bizarrevark with Jake Paul. Then on High School Music, the music series. Oh, I didn't even know. I've never heard of either of those shows. Okay. I didn't know Jake Paul was on the Disney Channel. What the hell was the Disney Channel smoking when they put Jake Paul on there, of all people? You saw pictures of them? I swear, I don't think it was a series. I gotta go look this up. I did not ever know or hear that Rihanna and Rob Kardashian were dating. That's so weird. Did I miss anybody's questions, you guys? I was trying to make sure I didn't.
You know what, guys? I am totally lost with all this celebrity gossip. So I'm gonna head out and get a couple hours of sleep before I have to go to work.
No, of course, Shonda, of course.
But I love you guys. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
And I'm really happy that you were able to make it and that we were able to remember Erica. We'll stay on here for about another half an hour and see what else we can get going over here. But you go get some rest.
Okay. I love you guys. Thank y'all so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. I was like, poor Shonda. She was probably like, I don't even know who any of these people are or what's going on. So I know, poor thing. She's been working her ass off on top of all of this because obviously when you just started a job, regardless of your spouse passing away unexpectedly, you know, you don't have on the books. So she really needs a vacation, poor thing. You'll send me the video. Okay, send it to me because I swear on my life, I've never heard this. Apparently, Young Miami is now with Future. Do you have a song coming out? Is she still a part of Diddy's team partners? Let's see if Karisha is still a part of the Diddle Bops. Allegedly, from what I was reading in the comments on one of the blogs that was posting, you know, insinuating that Karisha and Future were dealing with each other. Oh, you can just send it to me whenever, Sana. Obviously, I can't look at it right now, so I'll look at it later on. What do you call? People were saying, I guess, like, especially like Miami people know this, something that, like, even before the City Girls popped off, where we even heard about the City Girls, that allegedly Miami and Future, like, have been an on and off sneaky link thing. I never heard this in my entire life until I read it on the comments, and like all these people were saying it like it was a super well-known thing that's been going on for years, and I'm like, how come I've never heard of this before right this second? Because there was like 20 people saying this on the blog post. So that's definitely something that I had on my list to ask about. Now I'm just gonna say this though, guys. I am gonna have to find all new things to read about next week because you guys have been asking about everything that was on my list for next week. So let's see. But the reason why I was saying I'm surprised that nobody's ever brought this up is, did you make a donation, D? Is that, what do you call, it's been like a thing that, you know, like girls will date Future and then they end up with Diddy right afterwards. Lori Harvey, Joy, however you say baby, Bow Wow's baby's mama's name. There's somebody else too. So that's why I was just like, well, I'm surprised that nobody was mentioning it, like in all the time that Karisha was out with Diddle Bob. It's a pinned comment up above, D, or you can purchase a super chat. So let's see. I'm asking about Karisha and Diddle first, if they're still together, and then I'll ask about her and Future right after. Okay, let's see. Oh, they're definitely done again. Okay. Diddle has been showing way too much attention to the newest baby mama. And Spirit saying that Karisha had a problem with it because it was like, oh, like Spirit saying that Karisha started having a problem with things because she felt like she, number one, you know, it did start to kind of get to her that she felt like she wasn't like Diddy's preference because he seems to have a thing for either Asian or Black mixed Asian women. And she felt like even though she was the one that was out in public with him, because obviously, think about it in the context of this, you know, Diddy has people constantly speculating about his sexuality and who he's with and all of this kind of stuff. And then obviously all of the accusations about how he is a horrible partner to people. You know, whether it was what he allegedly did to Kim Porter or Cassie, or the things that Gina girl said on Tasha K's show, even though she has since gone back to Diddy. And so he picked Karisha because he knew she's known, number one, And then, that's going to get attention. And she was more than just a beard. It was also about trying to kind of rehab his image. Look, I didn't ruin her career. I still let her work. I'm not what you guys say I am. Even though behind the scenes, do you think any of the other women that he deals with really have jobs, or do they just sit around depending on him? Because that's what Diddy loves to do. He loves to play sugar daddy and control people. And so instead of Karisha seeing it for what it was, she started getting jealous and feeling like those other women were getting more out of the situation than she was, and that he was paying way too much attention to the baby's mom. And she was worried about that. And Spirit saying that Diddy just kind of, put it up to her of like, look, you knew what it was. You know what you signed up for. You're getting paid to be here. Nobody's like pulling the wool over your eyes. You're benefiting off of this. And he dumped her again. Every time that these two have split up, it's Diddy dumping her, not the other way around. Just know that. And Spirit saying, I don't know if you guys remember, like, before we even, because we haven't seen her and Diddle bop together in quite a while anyways, she was posting that, like, oh, my next relationship, I'm not sharing a man and this and that. And it's like, of course, now you're supposedly with Future. Girl, just say you love to share men at this point, as long as you're being the favorite. Or at least they make you think you're the favorite. So, Spirit saying when she was posting that was when they were having their argument. And then shortly after that, it was like, well, then we're just not going to be together anymore. Do you know what's funny is that she is actually kind of shitting herself because she counts on the money that she gets from Diddy a lot. A lot. I mean, the city girls are in a 360. Let's just be upfront with that. JT, when she says that, like, Uzi pays for everything. Well, yeah, because if JT had to actually pay all of her own bills, guys, she wouldn't be living in a nice house and having designer. Unless, she somehow was able to, like, convince American Express to give her the world's highest credit limit. But these girls don't make that much money. I mean, people really don't when you're in a 360. That's why everybody has to do all these side deals. And yeah, Karisha can make some money, like when she releases merch or she does her, like, Karisha roulette or whatever, but it's still not nearly enough to keep up with the Hollywood lifestyle and to make yourself look like you're some kind of a, millionaire and ballin' and everything. So because of that, it's like, no, I had to be attached to this billionaire and let him pay my bills because I can't afford to go shop at Chanel all the time. He can. So she feels like she shot herself in the foot in this situation and that she fucked it up. Right? It is funny, Marie, that Diddy dumping you is crazy because usually people have to escape from that man. So for him to voluntarily let anybody go is crazy. But I think that Uzi does care for JT in his own way. But I think that he's also extremely toxic, but as far as Diddle goes, he just looks at everybody like possessions. And honestly, like with Uzi and JT, I kind of feel almost like they have a codependent relationship on each other outside of like the financial aspect of it. And it's more like she's willing to let him fly his freak flag and just do whatever the hell he wants. And I feel like they have a friendship there. And it's almost like we kind of, are that safe space for each other from the industry. And it's more about that than it is about having this like romantic love and sexual attraction, if that makes sense. Like, it almost reminds me of, if you guys ever watched like Teen Mom, the kids that had to give their baby up for adoption, how they both came from really toxic families, and it was almost like, oh, you guys trauma bonded and are sort of each other's escape from the craziness of your families. Like, that's what JT and Uzi's connection reminds me of. Oh, yes, thank you so much. And LaShonda, go to sleep. You don't have to be in the chat. So I'll get to the questions, you guys. I'm going in order. So I will get to yours, and we'll take donations for another 15 minutes, so that way you can get through all of them and then try to wrap it up in a decent amount of time. So yeah, her and Diddy are definitely done. Now let's ask about Future, because I do feel like, you know, Miami is going to be out here kind of desperate and hustling for somebody to replace Diddy. And thank you so much to everybody that has donated. We really appreciate your guys' support. And if you didn't have a celebrity question, but you wanted to book a reading, you can use code Erica at checkout for 50% off on psychicbellalove.com. And I will be donating half of the proceeds from all readings to Erica's fund as well. I wish that JT could just find her way away from Karisha. Although, shout out to Santana for running out of the bar last night and not sticking around and fighting with everybody. I mean, that's some growth, right? And if you guys saw that Santana was running in his heels out the door of some bar that they were at because Erica Mena got belligerent and drunk and started a big old fight thing that happened, and then I guess they all got arrested. I mean, wherever Erica Mena goes, toxicity follows. She's just one of those people anyways. What was it that she told Peter Gunn? Like, I have a vicious mouth and you should be scared of me or something? Like, she's been that way for years. And oh my God, my kid was like a toddler when that happened. I can't believe that she's still even on that show. And that the show is still even on when I think about that. Although, you guys have to admit, them putting Peter Gunn hosting Cheaters was like a genius marketing move. And honestly, I'm happy for Tara Damina because at least he can help financially support his kids if he's got that job. And I will never to this day understand how two women who were as pretty as Tara and Amina were literally willing to keep going back and forth over Peter Guns of all freaking people like that. He must have an amazing ding dong is all I can say. It must shoot golden rainbows because I do not get the appeal of him and why it would be worth it to go back and forth with him. Dude, I know. Peter, that's the crazy thing is that, like, Peter and, oh my God, what's his name? Stevie and Benzino. Like, you're like, wow, like, they actually, like, were in the whole. Oh my God, Dario, that is so kind of you. Thank you. Hey, Soul. And babe, I just saw your email, Soul, so I'm going to text you after I get off of here. The king is here. Yes. Thank you so much, Dario. That is so kind of you. So going into her and Future, you know what, you guys, I hate to say this, but the pregnancy card does come up. So there is a possibility that Future might end up being Miami's next baby daddy. Let's pray to God that she has more sense than that. But I do feel like there is definite messing around happening between the two of them, and Spirit is confirming that they have dealt with each other in the past, as well as, you know, right now they are going back to it. Spirit saying like they have a tendency to kind of, you know, always go back to linking up with each other. Like we, you know, for say, this is just an example, like for the last 10 years, you know, like we used to mess with each other, then we both were in other situations for a couple years, then we hooked up again, then we didn't for a few years. It's like every few years they kind of like revisit and hook up again. So they're in that stage of their situation. This is definitely going to cause some beef between Diddy and Future. Diddy is not going to say a damn thing. It's Future, because we know how Future is. The same way that it's just like nobody is doing anything. Future puts out a song and decides that he needs to attack Russell and Sierra once again. So, of course, Future is petty. He's a Scorpio. I mean, that's the thing with him and Diddy. It's like they've kind of met their matches with each other. It's just that Diddy is more evil and has more money. But, like, honestly, if it came down to the petty wars and the whole, like, I'm going to, like, out negative you or out fuckboy you or whatever you would want to call it, Future would win. Think about it. It's just that Diddy would pay for things and have his goons, you know, go after him if he could. But Spirit saying, we all know how Future is. He can't keep his mouth shut. So expect a whole, like, him on a verse somewhere saying, yeah, and I fucked another one of your bitches. Or something along that lines, throwing shade at Diddy. And we will see Karisha and Future like together here and there. She's not going to be walking around holding his hand. They're not going to be calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like we always see all together. We know something's going on. Yes, Jen, please look at the pinned comment on how to participate in that, and then we are going to be, I'm taking questions for 10 more minutes. So this is not going to work out well for anybody, though. I mean, it's just going to end up being some toxic ass mess, like always. The good thing about this stuff, you guys, is that at least people are going to put it on wax. You know what I mean? Because it's like, in the past, if people had a fight with each other, they didn't get on Twitter. They go on their Instagram stories or their TikTok. They went in the booth and we got Hit 'Em Up from Tupac. We got... we got real diss tracks and stuff, right? And so I was just thinking about that. I'm like, at least like with this, like I feel Future and Diddy going back and forth on tracks with each other. I feel, you know, like Taylor and Olivia are gonna like write diss songs towards each other. At least we're getting music out of it, because it has been dry as fucking shit when it comes to getting any good music. So I'm like, at least maybe we can get something decent to listen to out of this. Exactly. Because look it, being Twitter fingers has never benefited Meek Mill in any way, shape, or form. Although, honestly, I don't want to hear Meek screaming about his ops on any track anyways. Like, I'm tired of hearing Meek scream. Dude, Meek's screaming on songs is so bad that, like, when I read his tweets, I hear it in his screaming voice. Meek's just catching all the strays tonight. I swear to God, we're like, first of all, we're like, you're crusty and musty no matter what you do. Now we're like, Meek, stop screaming. I was like, he just keeps catching it every which way tonight. And the way that Meek is, he'd probably flip out Tokyo Tony style if he saw this and heard this. So I can't wait to see who wins the victim wars and the corny wars, right? That'll be very interesting. So, yeah, they're messing around, but this is the thing. I mean, it's Future again. Karisha, you can't be mad because you didn't get to be the main and the pick me and the best and this and that with one guy and then run to basically the less rich version of him and think that that's somehow going to work out in your favor. But I feel like for both of them too, like this iteration of hooking up, both of them are definitely looking at it haha, you know, this is going to piss off Diddle Bob. Diddle's going to get mad that Future stole another female from him and, you know, or dealt with another female that he dealt with, whatever. And Karisha, you know, was like, haha, I know you don't like him. So, of course, like, I went to go hang out with him since you didn't want to deal with me. But Future really don't have the money that she's looking for from a man. He really don't. He struggles. Like Spirit's saying, like when he says in his court papers, like I have $25,000 to my name and I'm behind on my condo payments or whatever, like in his child support paperwork, he's telling the truth. He does not have the money that he used to or that people think he does because he's gotten himself into like so much debt with all of the child support and he spent money that he didn't have and he wasn't careful. So it's like, unless Karisha basically wants to be in a Kylie Jenner position. Remember when Kylie was dating Tygan and like they would come repossess cars and shit that he gave her? Or he'd buy her jewelry and 3 months later the jewelers on TMZ saying Tyga never paid for the bracelet that they made for Kylie or whatever. And then Kylie would go behind him and pay off all his bills. Miami don't got the money to pay off nobody's bills, but it's gonna be the same thing. It's like you're dealing with a man that if he gives you anything, the repo man ain't far behind. So enjoy it while it lasts. Although honestly, I mean, people call Diddy the repo man too, because he be giving you stuff and snatching it right back anyways. I feel like him being a deadbeat is finally starting to affect his career. He still has his diehards, but yeah, there's a lot of people that have really fallen off when you think about it. And that's why, like, when somebody pops up, you know, any of these newer people and they have, like, a viral hit, like the Glorillas, and everybody's all, oh my God, Glorilla. Well, now everybody's all, oh my God, Sexy Red, you know, and last week it was Ice Spice. It's like people don't have like a whole lot of longevity these days. And like people that were really huge for and had like a pretty decent run are starting to fade away. Like selling your soul to Satan ain't doing what it used to do, I guess, right? Maybe Diddy wants to be a Future because he goes behind him with all his girlfriends. I've seen females do weird shit like that. Like, oh, I want to be like that woman. So if I steal her boyfriend. So, all right. Did Rob and Rihanna date? I'm just going to pull yes or no on this. You guys have 5 more minutes to get in any more questions, and then we're not going to take any more questions, and we'll just finish up what we have in the queue. Spirit, yes or no? It said Kardashian and Rihanna. Yeah. Oh, they actually did. But it was very, very, like, brief. It was a whole situation of, like, you're cute, but I need somebody that's, like, got more balls to them. Like, you know, because Rihanna has, if you think about it, Rihanna has a lot of masculine energy, and her feminine energy is like the dark feminine energy, like an Angelina Jolie type of a person. So, and Rob kind of has a lot of more like sensitive feminine energy. If Rihanna dates guys, and Rihanna does tend to go for men that are more on that feminine spectrum as far as like energy. Like, I'm not saying she dates gay guys, you guys. I'm just talking about their energy and, you know, the divine masculine and feminine side of things. But the problem with that is that she thinks it's fun to kind of run shit and control them, but then she completely loses all respect for them, and then it turns her off. And then she just starts becoming mean to them, which is a very typical thing for air signs and water signs to do, by the way. Like, we have to, like, match our energy to the right people. And so it was that type of a thing where she just kind of felt like, you're a little too soft and whiny for me. I don't think that they ever even had sex. I think it was just that she was, like, getting attention from him, and she liked that. So there's that as far as that question goes, but it was very brief, and it was just really like a flirtation kind of a thing. So how is Nicki currently feeling towards Ice Spice? And just so you guys know, again, I know that people were freaking out because Ice Spice put like hearts under some post of Cardi. She's doing that on purpose. It's strategic. I've told you guys this. She's never wanting to get herself pulled into all of the stupid beef stuff anyways, because to her, it's just like, that's a surefire way to like fuck yourself. Because look at how many people went against Nicki to go be on Carlos's side and how well that worked out for them. So she's always tried to kind of stay neutral anyways, but Spirit is saying that now she's kind of doing it on purpose, because since Carlos wanted to like try to make fun of her and bully her along with Lotto, she is fucking with Carlos at this point. If I'm nice to you and you keep picking at me, look at what a horrible freaking bully you look like. And then when I do say something back, whether it is on wax or on Twitter or whatever, I'm completely justified, and people are going to say she's been fucking with that girl forever and that girl's done nothing but like her. Ice is playing a game. So just say she's a little bit smarter than people give her credit for. She knows what she's doing. But don't ever think that she's kissing Carlos's ass. She's setting Carlos up. And also, when I give you guys tea about shit like this, I purposely do it as far into the video as I can. And I don't know, maybe I should make like a members only thing for like private Barb chats or something on here, because Carlos watches these videos, you guys. That's why I never try to give her too much information on things that are going on. So, and I'm not saying these videos isn't just mine. I know she has seen my videos. I know she knows who I am. There's a few people I know for sure that they know who I am, because I got warned to be careful because they know who I am. But she watches a lot of different videos because all she does is stalk Nicki and tries to figure out what Nicki's up to so that she can plot against her. And that's the funniest part about it with Carlos. It's like, girl, your career it does not depend on Nicki Minaj anymore. And the sooner that she realizes that, the better for herself. Because if all she ever wants to keep doing is tying herself to Nicki because of the, hatred and stuff, people forget about that shit. They move on. They get over it. Nicki puts out a song that they like and they don't hate her anymore. People are fickle. You can't do that. Like, she needs to build her own freaking fan base and stop it before it's too late for her. Because she's already clinging to the edge of relevancy. So, and thank you for the super chats, guys. No more questions. If you want to put a super chat or send a donation to LaShonda, you for sure can. And there's also the thanks that you guys are on the replay crew can put up to, and I'll make sure that those get to her. But we're not going to take any more questions, so that way I can get through the ones that we have up, and then we can get off of here because I still have a kiddo dependent on me. Alrighty, so there's something else that Nicki and Ice have coming, guys. And I get that it's not only going to be on, like, I feel like we might get it, because Ice still has to put out her first album. And then obviously, like, Nicki has an album coming. I feel like they're both going to appear on another song with each other. And this is the thing, guys. When Nicki really likes somebody, like, she'll work with them, like, a lot. Like, she really, really did like Tekashi. She thought he was entertaining in this, and she looks past all the other shit she had going on with him. So that's why she kept working with him. I know that, she ended up having her issues with him or whatever, but if you look in the past, anytime that Nicki's had a closeness or built like a real relationship with certain people, same thing with Wayne and Drake and other, artists throughout the years, Young Thug, NBA Youngboy, like, she's no problem going, circling the block and working with them repeatedly. And her and Ice Spice working together, again, like I tell you guys all the time, charts and numbers can be manipulated. People want to put up certain images and stuff. However, whenever Nicki and Ice works together, they make money, whether it's just through merch or streams, buys, whatever. Like, it really does line both of their pockets very nicely. And I do feel like she really is, like, she really thinks of Ice Spice like she's a little sister and somebody that Nicki really does want to win, and she does see a lot of potential in her. I get that Nicki doesn't always agree with the way that maybe, like, Ice's team, like, for example, like, Nicki wants Ice to dress a little bit better, but she also is like, I'm not going to say anything about that or tell you, like, what to do with that because that's your journey. But she just feels like it's time for Ice to kind of level up past the rest of these hoes and really show everybody what time it is. But she's going to do it. So she really likes her, though. She really does, and they really do have a real bond. Is that why she sent Tokyo money for her electric bill? I know Ice Spice has a stylist. She needs a better one, though. I'm not going to say the lady's name on here because she needs to step her game up. I think Ice is cute. I just think that, she's made such a, big, deal out of herself that she kind of, like, deserves a better wardrobe or to have better clothes at least, because some of her stuff still looks like Somebody just stopped at the mall on the way there and bought it. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm going in order and getting everybody's questions. D, what was your question? I don't see it in the chat. Wait, whose dreads are falling off? Wait, Zeta, how would you feel if him and Safari and Blueface started a group and joined forces? That would be the crustiest group ever. Oh my god. Listen, as bad as like Meek and Safari are, I would hope to God that they would still like not want to associate themselves with Bluetooth of all people. Zayn and his upcoming projects and relationships. I just did like a big reading on Zayn. I think I did a couple recently on him. Let me see real quick, because we're also trying to keep it short and sweet too. So let me see. Spirit. Okay. First thing that Spirit's saying, and this goes for all of the One Direction boys, you know, the industry, I mean, this is the thing, if you guys haven't noticed. There's tons of people in the industry that are extremely talented that don't only rap about their freaking, you know, coochie and getting what you can out of guys and popping pills and all the dumb shit that, you know, everybody seems to only ever talk about. But the industry likes to pick a few people and elevate them to like a really big status, and then everybody else, talented or not, sort of kind of has to hang out on the fringes and the wayside, right? And it's like they can have some success, but not to like the huge degree that they allow certain people to have. I feel like Zayn, just in general, what Spirit's saying is, you know, and this isn't to compare because of any of the like personal stuff. This is really about the career things. I feel like Zayn, you know, and again, like I said, this is going to go for all of the One Direction boys. The industry picked Harry Styles as the one out of that group that they were going to let be the superstar. And all the rest of the boys are going to kind of, you know, either have a little bit of a harder time as far as really selling their projects and getting the recognition that it deserves. You know, I don't feel like they're all going to go on all these like huge stadium and arena tours all over the world and then have their songs live in the top 10 for 20 weeks at a time and like all the stuff that Harry Styles has been able to achieve. But what Zayn's career in the future feels like energetically or looks like is comparable to Chris Brown. Chris Brown really has that strong fan base, that cult following, that it doesn't matter if whatever project he puts out hits Billboard or not, or if the radio supports it or not. Chris's fans are going to support it. He's still going to be able to go on tour and sell out to support the album. He's still going to, you know, get decent streams and all of that stuff. And it's really because he has that fan base, you know, that really loves and supports him regardless. And I feel like Zayn, and again, the rest of the 1D boys too, they're gonna have very similar like situations. But I feel like Zayn is kind of like in second place after Harry as far as like having more success in his career. Liam Payne's put out some songs that I actually liked. And this is the thing, I never listened to One Direction. I didn't even know that any of those guys were from One Direction. I literally just heard some songs and was like, this Liam Payne guy is pretty good. And I like Zayn too. And then everybody's like, oh yeah, they were in One Direction. I'm like, they were? Because like, I didn't listen to them. I didn't really know what that whole thing was. So I think their music, honestly, was better than Harry Styles, in my opinion. But they obviously chose Harry as the golden boy. He's the new Justin Timberlake. You know, and that's what's unfortunate. That's why, honestly, if I was an artist, if I was gonna make like rock music, fine, be in a band, whatever. If I wanted to make pop music, I would never want to be in a group. Because they always pick one person and decide this is our superstar, and you know, but they're lying to everybody else in the group, and I'm talking about like executives and the industry people, and telling all of them, oh, your group is going to be huge 20 years from now and you'll always be touring together. Meanwhile, they're like, this is the Beyonce of the group, and cultivating that person behind everybody's backs. And then, you know, they'll force a group breakup and then like push that person as the new solo star, and then all the rest of you are left with crumbs. So I'm just saying, like, if that's the direction you want to go with a music career and you're really hell bent on getting a label sign you and all that, keep that in mind, because just look at any group. You will see that this holds true for all of them. As far as like Zayn's relationships go, Spirit saying he wants to be in a relationship. And I do feel like he's tried to date a bit here and there since him and Gigi have broken up. But it's like, he's got so much anxiety. And Spirit saying it's like he has his moments where he's doing really good with it, and then he has his bad moments. And anybody that just, anxiety or not, like dating is going to make you nervous and stressed out and anxious anyways. And it makes his anxiety flare up so bad that it's like he keeps putting himself in hermit mode. Like, I put myself out there, I tried. I started getting, uncomfortable, or it started being too hard for me. And I just completely stopped and put myself back up on the shelf again. We'll see him with somebody, but right now I feel like his whole focus is on really being a dad and trying to get music out and push his career in a new direction. Does he have any movies or like TV projects or anything lined up? I know obviously right now everything is delayed because of all the strikes and stuff, but I keep feeling like we may end up seeing him acting. And that's actually going to be good for him. I feel like he likes it. And I think that people are going to compare him and Harry a lot, but I feel people being more favorable about like Zayn's acting abilities than they are about Harry's. So at least he kind of gets to be like, have that for himself. And I feel like whoever he dates next is probably going to be an actress. Probably somebody that he'll meet through that. But his next project will be decently received. It's just not going to, do the Harry Styles thing where it lives in the top 10 for weeks on end. Where is Ice's career going? I've done multiple Ice Spice career readings lately, hun. So I'm sorry. Like, I'm just going to say that, like, she'll do much better in her career than Glorilla. They'll have more longevity than Carlos. Ice is actually going to surprise everybody and have a way better career than I think anybody expected out of her when she dropped Munch. I don't think that she's going to, be the biggest rapper ever, but she is who the industry is really grooming and supporting right now, and she is Carlos's replacement as of right now. things change, obviously, because if everybody in the GP says, you know what, we don't like ice anymore, then they'll say, okay, we have to scramble and find somebody else to be the new replacement girl or the new whatever. But for right now, they are really supporting her. Did JLo and LL Cool J hook up together when they worked on her album in the early 2000s? Oh, whew. I already know the answer to that. It is yes. I did a reading on that a long time ago, but it was on Instagram Live before you could save Instagrams. Or the lives on Instagram. I mean, like, dude, this was, God, probably 2016, I think. So I was like, oh, I remember that reading. Because like a JLo fan was in the comments and got in a big ass fight with me and the girl that were on live doing it. She was so mad that we said that JLo wasn't some perfect little angel. It's like, girl, her name is called J-Ho for a reason. But what's still happened between JLo and LL Cool J? Thank you. I know, Saint. I was like, well, listen, a bunch of shit needs to happen between now and Tuesday. Because everything that I had on my list to read about next week, I think everybody asked tonight. So I was just like, well, somebody do something crazy this weekend so we have something to talk about on Tuesday. And I'll be live on Tuesday, guys. I'm going to try to go live in the mornings on Tuesdays every week if I can. Obviously, sometimes I can't because, you know, shit happens and life happens. But I am going to try to do that. So I will, you know, see you guys Tuesday morning. Hopefully, like I said, somebody does something so we have new things to talk about. I know I sound mean saying that, but I'm like, it's been like, even if you go look at the blogs, like nobody's had anything to post other than Donald Trump's, like, you know, mugshot recently. So okay. Okay, who's Amanda? I will get into more of the nitty gritty in Patreon about like everything that happened around this situation, only because, guys, YouTube will literally like fry my ass if I say what I really want to on this situation, not because I'm trying to like gatekeep info. I hate the censorship so much on YouTube. Sometimes it really does like make it so hard. But if you've ever watched Eugene Deal talk about what happens between Kim Porter and JLo, and basically how she apparently would still date black men, but on the down low after Diddy, that kind of stuff plays into what ended up happening between her and LL Cool J. But there was definitely an affair that happened. There was definitely talk of getting out of marriages and relationships in order to be together. And race definitely played a fact in why she walked away from that and ran to go to her next victim that she thought was more socially appropriate for her and her brands during that time. Hopefully I said that enough that everybody understands what I meant by that. Because it's kind of hard when you can't just say everything you want to. And I'm not a PC person, so it's so hard to like not be able to just say everything I want. Okay. Is Nicki really considering forgiving Megan, and does she have ill feelings on the Tory Lanez case? Also, you look gorgeous today. Oh, thank you. Let's see. You know what, you guys, that I was thinking? I think I said this in Patreon. I know I was talking to Barb about it. How triggering it must be for Kenny. All the stuff that's happened with Megan and Tory, and obviously Kenny went through his own problems because he was falsely accused of committing acts of, aggression towards a woman himself. And to literally be like, wow, a month before you did that to Tory, you were like smiling in my damn face at a video shoot, but yet you were also telling my wife to have, just go ahead and get drunk. You can go to the clinic tomorrow and all this stuff. And it's like, I always feel bad for Kenny, like, because, it's like if you've been a victim of something and then you find out that somebody that you were around and being nice to was a perpetrator of the same things that victimized you, like, that's traumatizing. So it's just something I was thinking about. She got something to say about that. Okay. Nicki feels like I would rather go step on a beehive, like an actual beehive, stomp her barefoot through it and trust that she wouldn't get stung more than she would trust ever, being friends with Megan Thee Stallion again. That's the first thing that's coming up. I mean, the underlying energy is the Ten of Swords, the Palace of Swords, and the Star card. It's like, this is somebody who does not care who she steps on or what she has to do to get to, the place that she's trying to go in life. And anybody that makes the mistake of trusting her or befriending her, either, worst case scenario, you end up in prison and facing deportation. Best case scenario, she just gets drunk at your birthday party and tries to fight Kylie Jenner. And as far as Nicki's concerned, like, why would I want to, like, involve myself in anything like that? Because she just feels like, Megan's not genuine. Any attempts at Megan trying to come back and make up with Nicki would be, you're trying to rehab your image and you're trying to profit off of this, but you've had all this time to come back and apologize to me or try to make it right. So, like, why do I need to give you another chance? I don't, and I am not going to. So no, she's not. Also, Nicki very much feels bad for Tory. I do feel like she's wanted to reach out to him, but obviously, it's like, I can't directly call you at the LA County jail. But I do feel like she's passed messages along the way through, like, managers and agents, like, to, tell Tory, like, keep your head up, you're going to be okay. But she feels like anybody who involves themselves around Megan is only asking for trouble, and that's not trouble that she's willing to get herself into, and she has no respect for her, and she doesn't feel like she's a good person. So, can't blame her. I mean, honestly, I'll tell you this. There are so many people who feel this way about Megan Thee Stallion in the industry that are too afraid, obviously, to come out and say it. Because if you come out and you say that, you're going against Rock Nation, which means you're going against Jay-Z and Beyonce, So you might as well just end your career right now and blackball your own self as far as, they're worried about. So that's why so many people don't fuck with Megan, didn't come out to be like, oh my God, I'm so glad that this went in your favor and poor victim Megan and we love you so much, or any of that stuff showed her like all this public support. But they're also not like condemning her but it's like you can tell by the lack of like supportive statements that like nobody's fucking with her like that. And I am happy that there have been some artists who have been willing to speak out in Tory's defense. And so, okay, Steve Harvey getting a divorce. All right, thank you. Meg allegedly slept with YG when he was with Kalani. Really? I never heard that. Oh my God, you guys are spilling some like juicy ass tea. Lizzo supported Tory. Oh, that would make sense of who she pissed off. And again, guys, it's just because Beyonce said, I love you, Lizzo. Listen, there's plenty of times where somebody has ruined somebody's career behind the scenes and y'all don't know about it, but publicly, you would think that they are great friends. Sometimes when they have to say, I love you, Lizzo, or I support this person, and they're smiling and acting like they're super in that person's, side. Sometimes that's the person that did it, and they're claiming publicly them saying, I love you, Lizzo, is actually letting them know, let their handlers know, don't worry, I played a huge part in trying to take Lizzo down. If you're in Patreon, you'll understand that that's the revelation of the method. So, and thank you, Dee, for your contribution. I am going to do your question now, and then we will wrap it up. A lot of people chose the wrong side too early on. Exactly. Well, I think, I just wish, like, in situations like this, instead of everybody running to just be like, oh my God, this person says they're a victim, or to feel like you have to support one person over the other because of their gender, or, you like their music more or whatever. But, like, I think that the Johnny and Amber situation is a really good example of... people will freaking lie sometimes because they're really the bad guy and they want you to not look at them and look at the other person, or they have an ulterior motive or whatever. And so that's why, like, you have to wait for evidence to come out and to actually listen to what's being said and ask yourself, does this make any sense, before you jump to take somebody's side. Because just like a lot of the stuff that Megan said didn't make any sense, a lot of the stuff that Amber Heard was saying didn't make any damn sense either when she was on that stage. So, dude, those transcripts are, you want to really see the hypocrisy and lack of evidence and how everybody colluded against Tory and how nothing, was on the up and up. Go read through or listen to somebody reading the transcripts. Honestly, I know some people think it's embarrassing. I already answered it in Indira. I'm on the last one. I've answered everybody's now. What do you call but honestly, I know, like, some people think it's embarrassing, like, oh, I wouldn't want, like, if I was in court, like, to have it all televised on court TV like Johnny and Amber did. You know what, though? Like, because I said this in Patreon, think about it. If we had Megan Cuniff reporting on the Johnny and Amber case and none of us had been able to witness, what was going on in the courtroom, so many people would have been thinking, oh my God, poor Amber Heard. She's getting railroaded in that courtroom by that abusive, horrible ex-husband of hers and his bully attorneys. And look at how they're still attacking women. She just can't catch a break. They could have still, regardless of whatever the outcome was, still spun the public opinion. But because we, the public, could go watch it and see it for ourselves and see what a freaking liar she was, you know, she couldn't pull that off. And I saw somebody saying, just wait until Megan Cuniff starts reporting on A$AP Rocky's case that he's got coming up and any other celebrities, and see how she talks about them. And then see if people still want to go, like, believe everything that she has to say about Tory. And did you guys see how Camel hired his own Amber Heard to go after people and to slice the history? Oh my God. Did you guys see how Jose Baez ate Megan Cuniff up? He called her a blogger. He posted, this is what comes up when I search her name. I'm not sure which account is hers. And one of them said, Megan is a drunk. Like, she would really have that as her legit account. Dude, he went for her fucking throat. I was cracking up. Could you imagine that she was really tweeting all that stuff about the Tory Lanez case or any of the other cases that she was covering from an account on Twitter called Megan is a Drunk? And thinking that we needed to take her seriously? Like, that's just like, I was dying. He really ate her ass up. This blogger. I was like, you know, that pissed her off so much because she was trying to be like, I am such an established journalist. Don't let these YouTube bloggers lie to you. That was her big thing, that she was trying to act like, you know, oh, Millie and other YouTube bloggers were like, you know, not credible sources, and that she was the only professional. So I just freaking died when he called her a blogger. This blogger has been spreading this truth. You guys, imagine Jose Baez sues her. She would deserve it. I know Millie would jump on, and then we could turn it into a class action lawsuit. So, anyways. I know, right? They both are. That's why people were saying that she was so, like, on Meg the Stallion side, because she has a bunch of, I guess, like, DUIs or charges or some shit like that of her own. I'm surprised that they even let her in the damn courthouse to report on those cases if she has all of her own, like, criminal record. They really do, right? So, you know what? Meghan Markle is supposed to revive her blog, The Tig, and she named it after that expensive Italian wine that she liked that they call The Tig. Maybe she needs to change the name of it just so that people don't associate her with the other Megans that are drunks. Let's just err on the side of caution, Meghan Markle. So, alrighty, Steve Harvey and Marjorie getting a divorce. Let's see. Okay. First of all, this is another one of those relationships where everything that they portray to the public is not exactly what's going on inside the house. If you guys didn't know, there's been rumors for years that at one point Kris Jenner was one of Steve's side chicks, and then Marjorie found out and put an end to that because she didn't want, you know, she felt like Kris was just only doing it in order to, like, use Steve and for his connections or suck his soul out of his body so that she could elevate her family some more. God knows what else. And Marjorie is like, yeah, that's not happening. Get rid of the bitch. So both of them, though, it's like, again, don't ask, don't tell. As long as you don't embarrass me and you come home and we have somewhat of a good relationship otherwise, and you put on your little matching Gucci outfit and show it for pictures, you know, that's good enough for us. And if you guys didn't know, a lot of older people in Hollywood have open relationships because, again, it's like all the spark is gone, but we're in the companionship or friendship phase of our relationship, or we're Will and Jaden. We're so much of a brand together that, like, it would financially hurt us to not be together. So we'll just, you know, present to the public that we're still together and everything is hunky-dory, you know, but then behind the scenes, we're living very separate lives doing our own thing. I don't think their relationship is so much like, you know, living completely separate lives, but they each go off and have their own dalliances and do their own thing and don't stress each other out about it. So I don't see there being a divorce at any point. I do feel like there is a minor separation that's happening, but expect that they're going to come out and do a whole PR thing and act like everything is fine and dandy between the two of them. Steve is actually the one that's going to get exposed for cheating. And when he does, that's when the divorce happens. But the thing is that it's like right now, like it's so speculative. Oh, Marjorie, you know, hooked up with the chef. Then she hooked up with the bodyguard. Then she hooked up with the bodyguard and the chef was supposedly, you know, and it's like, okay, which one was it? Who has proof? Where did these rumors come from? And Spirit saying, you know, it's like, it's not the concrete evidence. Where like Steve, somebody's going to put his ass on blast. And that's what's going to catch them up. But I still wouldn't put it past them to still be like, oh, he made a mistake and I knew about it and we've already worked through it. Marjorie doesn't want to let go of Steve anytime soon because she knows that it's, you know, the same way cheaper to keep her. She feels like she benefits more as long as she's with him. And on top of it, it's like they've had so many people attack their marriage over the years that it's almost like they're hell-bent on trying to prove everybody wrong. They could end up getting divorced, but as of right now, the energy is that they're going to still stay together and just be very careful that, like, nobody really knows what's going on in the house of cards, so to speak. But again, I don't feel like they fight all the time or have this, you know, anything like that. They're really kind of a team, so it's not really a big deal to them. It's like you got bored and wanted to go fuck somebody else. So do I. Who cares? Some people are really like that. It's weird. And some people just care about security and money, and they feel like, you know, I don't hate you, so why would I leave this situation? They probably met in an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. Lindsay, you know that they didn't, because if you go to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, that means that you're actually willing to be accountable and that you want to do better and that you're trying to fix yourself. Neither one of them is going to go around and admit to their wrongs and start making their amends with the people that they've hurt. That is far too much credit that you're giving for them. Maybe they met at a bar. But an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, that's just being too kind. Too kind. So, anyways, guys, we will be live again on Tuesday, probably around 11 a.m. ish. So Pacific Standard Time, which would be around 2 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, I'm in California, so I'm always behind everybody. So I always forget to say Pacific Standard Time because I know most of you guys, even if you aren't in America, go based off of Eastern Time. They were probably having a competition about who could take more shots and still stand up. Maybe it escalated after that of who can take the most shots and still drive. And Megan Kuniff lost when the police arrested her. Allegedly, all jokes, everything is for entertainment purposes only. We just telling ghost stories over here with our little pictures of our little cars. I gotta stop making fun of Mucus over here because she likes to come for me. So, anyways, guys, I love you all so much. Thank you, everybody who donated tonight. This was so kind of all of you, and we really, truly appreciate it. And, you know, please make sure that you guys keep LaShonda and Erica's family in your prayers. Erica really is that person who's like the family matriarch, the backbone of her family. She has all these kids and grandkids who miss her, and obviously LaShonda, you know, is really kind of going through it right now, trying to heal and trying to keep her spirits up. So I really appreciate everybody that was able to come through tonight and that was able to help out. It is so appreciated. And replay crew, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like on the way out. All of the proceeds, you know, even the AdSense views and whatnot from this video will be donated to Erica's family. So if you guys want to, you know, share it, replay it, whatever you can to get those up to support too is the free way of helping. We really appreciate that. And I love everybody. I hope that you guys all have a great rest of your weekend. Soul, I'm going to text you right now. And I hope everybody else has a good one. I will see you guys next week. Bye.